this video, I want to walk you through the process of transitioning from boy psychology to man psychology. 3 signs that you're stuck in boy psychology. Number 1, validation craving. You do things for the approval of other people, and you might get into materialism and buying things just for the status you could gain rather than doing the things that you actually like. Number 2, woman pedestalizing. You have such a scarcity in dating and sex that you pedestalize women, which often makes them disrespect you. And number 3, you're addicted to comfort. You eat for pleasure, you scroll, you jack off, you play video games, and all of these bad habits, you'll often cope and say to yourself, nope, it's actually productive because it helps me unwind. We spoke briefly about the boy psychology. Now let's talk about man psychology. I want to really go in detail here. What's the difference between the two? You know how for the boy psychology, it was all about validation seeking. And I think materialism is a great example for that. Man psychology is the opposite. It's more like fulfilling yourself. You'll still buy things, you'll still do things which, could be seen as craving validation in some ways, but you would do those things utterly for yourself. The boy will buy the Rolex because he thinks that guys and girls will like him more. The man wears the Casio because it's got a little light on it and it's more practical. This doesn't mean that you shouldn't buy the Rolex, but you should buy whatever you want because you genuinely like it. I have a Rolex. It was a gift from Iman Gaji. And I actually don't really like it. It's nice and I appreciate the gift, of course. But I just don't like it as much as I like this Casio. It's like a digital watch. I like it. But even though the Rolex might get me more attention from people and I might, think to myself, if a girl sees me with the Rolex, then maybe she'll like me more. Man psychology is like, yeah, but like I'll wear the watch for me. With man psychology, when you don't crave validation as much and you set up your life, your purchases, like random little things in your life for you, any attention and attraction you get from others is actually for you and your tastes and your mannerisms and your hobbies. And I won't lie to you, look, I'm not all the way into the man psychology because I still do quite a lot of things for the validation of other people because we live in a social world. Your social currency, your social status is very important these days, especially with the age of social media businesses. So don't think, okay, I can't do anything for other people, but something to actually just be honest with. When I became honest with my desire for the external validation from women when I was going to the gym, I made more progress and I built a more aesthetic physique than most guys out there who still go to the gym because I was honest with that desire. I think you would benefit if you're at least honest. If you're going to buy a watch because you genuinely want the sort of validation from other people, it's not amazing, but at least be honest to yourself so you know what the point of the purchase is and you can actually align it so it's effective. I'm not telling you that you can never chase validation from other people because it's completely normal to do that. But when you are doing that, make sure you are honest to yourself so at least you can do it effectively. The next part of man psychology is knowing what you like and enforcing it into the world. It is of utmost importance you start to be honest with yourself and you don't lie to yourself. What do you actually like? What do you want? You've got to be honest to yourself and eventually you start to be honest with other people. I have something which I call Hamza's golden rule, and it's one of the rules which has served me the most in my entire life. There's 2 parts to that. What you want, what is it that you want? Can you be honest to yourself and think, or does your mind cover it up with bull? It's so easy to say, oh, well, that girl, she's not even that pretty anyway, when you would happily go on a date with her. It's so easy to lie to yourself and come up with some kind of excuse and know what you want and be honest and don't lie to yourself and then just do it. That simple golden rule, just do what you want. Once you know what you want, then have the bravery to just go up and get what you want. Go and speak to the girl. Go and dress in the way that you want. Do what you want. Eat what you want. If you just follow that rule, you'll have so much more of a fulfilling life and people will respect you more. And you can control them if the impulse is going to hurt other people and stuff. But there's things that you want that actually other people would be down to give you if you just say it. This isn't just about with women, but I think that explains a lot of male life and the sort of tendency that a lot of boys have, where they'll see the girl that they want, but they'll lie and act like they don't want her, or they'll lie and talk her and say that she's fat or whatever, when you would have actually been very happy to go and speak to her, and if she gave you the chance, you would have been happy with it. But you lied to yourself just because it's easier. It kind of saves you from the accountability to actually go up and face the rejection. Now, along with this, another part of man psychology is potentially sacrificing social circles, relationships, for your own values, for what you want. If you are currently speaking to a girl that you want to date, but she says, no, we're just friends, if you keep speaking to her, you should sacrifice that relationship because you're not getting what you want. In all your relationships, you should go through them with an extremely selfish mindset until the point that they have proven worthy and they are now considered more like in your tribe and in your family. When you're first meeting people, you should literally be thinking what you want to get from them. And I know that sounds crazy, but everyone's thinking it. Women especially are thinking it. High tier guys are thinking it. They just kind of like won't ever tell you the truth. But I'm telling you, the more powerful men are always like kind of sizing up every guy that they meet, and all women are doing this as well. It's only like the sort of beta male guy who kind of finds that a little bit awkward, and also because of this social convention where everyone's kind of lied, everyone is sizing up each other. Of course they are. So you need to be thinking, okay, think about the social circle you're getting into and think what you want from it. And if you're not getting what you want from it, change the social circle to get what you want or leave it entirely. Like, for example, I was at the gym and one day my friend said, oh bro, come like sit with us over here. So he was with that little girl group. And I sat there for a few minutes and I'm not gonna lie, I just didn't enjoy it. So I said to him, oh, one sec bro, I'm gonna go to the sauna. I just went to the sauna, didn't come back. That's it. I wasn't rude about it, but I was there for a few minutes and I thought, yeah, I'm not very interested in being here. There's not much I really want to talk about to these girls. No offense to them. It's just, I'm not friends with them. I'm not going to be friends with them. It's fine. The old, like the little boy version of me would have sat there, try to socialize at my best and whatever. But I have this level of abundance where I'm like, no, well, this is not like my sort of ultimate social circle. Why am I going to spend my valuable time amongst people that I don't really like? It's like, I'm still going to be polite. Like I still saw the girls and smiled the next day and whatever. Like think about how important that is. Most boys try to fit in with the group. The man tries to make the group fit with him, and only a little bit. Like I will go into a group and I'll see who's interesting in there. I'll talk about the things I find interesting, business, fitness, whatever. And the moment that that's me kind of forcing people to sort of enter my world. And the moment I see that's like, I just don't really want to talk to this person, they're not that interesting, whatever, I will just drop it like that. I'll speak about what I'm interested in, fitness and whatever. But I won't just speak about me, I'll ask them questions. So it's on the topic that I'm interested in, but then of course they're captivated because they're speaking about themselves. Do you see how that's like a win-win? And that's 100% a part of the man psychology, to not be disrespectful, but to actually be respectful to your own time, to your own values. And when you find yourself amongst people that you don't particularly like, you just think, yeah, my time's too valuable for this. It includes not just in the social life, but in your dating life too. So I would recommend that you start vetting people, men and women, and social circles and groups to see who you genuinely like speaking to. And if there's someone you don't enjoy speaking to, you just kind of just move on with the situation. And I'm so glad that I have the balls to do this now. It's better to disturb some kind of social interaction for you to get more comfortable than for you to be sat at ease. The next time that you're out in public and you see like a cold approach happening, or you see a Chad speaking to a few girls, notice the body language of the high status guys compared to the low status guys. What you'll find is the high status, more attractive guys, they'll seem so much more free in their body. The lower status man will always seem like he's very rigid in his body, like he's scared to kind of do anything. But the idea behind this is when you are in a social interaction, but you feel the urge to, to do something, you're not very relaxed, you're not very comfortable, move and do it. Like I've been on dates before, like one of the most recent dates I went on, we were sat somewhere and I wasn't very comfortable. And I actually thought of this rule and I was like, oh, 1 second, I'm not comfortable. I stood up and kind of changed positions and stuff. That's absolutely fine. And I'm telling you, that will actually make you more attractive, not because you just changed positions, but then when you sit down and you're actually comfortable, you'll be fully present again. The man prioritizes that above that sort of small social friction of you kind of moving your body around, because he cares more about how he feels of himself. And what's intelligent about the man psychology is when you align to yourself instead of the social judgments of others, you will often get better judgment from others, the people who are actually compatible with the real you. An interesting one is that man psychology prioritizes brotherhood and friendship over boy psychology. You'll see this with a lot of guys who haven't really matured. It's like the biggest thing in their life. But you'll notice this with guys who are stuck in like boy psychology. And even in general, I'd even say like they're woman over brotherhood, which is a bit of a controversial one because in general, the sort of social convention is you meet a girl, you get into a relationship, and she becomes the priority of your life, and your friends and everything else kind of goes down. And now he's stopped all of them to just hang out with her. He's turned into a loser. He's got a little bit fat. He's lost a bunch of his self-esteem, and he's not as attractive. Man psychology is that when a woman enters your life, whether short-term or long-term, you still keep up your life as the priority. You still do your things. You don't spend all the time with her. Maybe she doesn't even move in with you for a while. Whereas that's like man psychology is very beautiful here because brotherhood is actually far more valuable than most of the girls you'll ever meet in your life. The hard part with this, of course, it's like very difficult to meet worthy brothers who are actually on self-improvement alongside you. Above all, the transition from boy psychology to man psychology is all about aligning your life to your truth, to the things you know are true. Even under the scrutiny of other people, even under the judgments of others, of girls, of your social circle, you find out what is true for you and you align your life that way. And if it happens that you meet someone who does not align with the life that you've got set for yourself, you're okay with losing them. So I'll tell you a quick story to end off. I was in the gym a few days ago and my cameraman was there and he was speaking to a group of girls. He does this really well. I walked past them and he said, Hamza, come here. This girl's from UK as well, which is like a great introduction. So I come up and speak to this girl. And this girl group, by the way, is like the hot girl group. So I swear to God, like when they walked into the gym, everyone was looking at them. This girl's gorgeous in front of me. We're flirting a little bit. Where are you from? Okay, I'm from here. We're making little jokes. I can tell she likes me a little bit. This is cool, okay. I went on her phone and typed my Instagram, so she followed me. And I asked, okay, what do you do? She tells me, okay, sweet. And she asks me what I do, and I say I'm a YouTuber. And she says, oh, what topic? I said, oh, like self-improvement for men. And she goes, oh, like Andrew Tate. And I went, yeah, exactly like him. And she went, oh, but I don't like him. Oh, like I went, why? And she went, because he objectifies women. And I said, I always do this because these people are never smart. So I always act like a retard. I'm like, oh, really? What did he say? And every single time I've ever done that, retard always goes, oh, well, I don't know, but you know, he just hates women and he traffics. She said some shit like that. This conversation for a few more seconds, I got so uninterested and I said, okay, well, you have a good day. I went and did my exercise. And I thought to myself, you know, whilst I was hitting like this set of lateral raises, I'm not even going to go on my Instagram and find her, follow her back. I'm not even going to do that. She's fit. That's awesome. But I'm not going to go and spend any time with someone who has values that I just do not like at all. Man psychology is very much about you just knowing your own values, your own truth of the world, and then just aligning to that. You don't be disrespectful to people, but you just live your life in accordance to what you want. When you do that, you will start to feel like a man. You ditch them, you move on with your life, and you start to accumulate new friends who are actually on this path.